Hello, beautiful being. Welcome to In Her Dreams and welcome to your reading. This reading is starting a little bit differently than how I normally start them because the downloads are just like coming in like that, okay? So I took a little break and used the restroom, okay, refreshed my energy, and I was coming out of my bedroom and a song was playing. Spirit said, see what the song is. And I was wanting to get in here and start the reading, so I just asked what the song was because it was playing really low. And she said it was Stone Love by the Supremes. Now, maybe I've heard that song, but I don't know it, okay? I don't know that song. But I came in here and asked the echo what the song is about. And she said that it's about an unbreakable bond, a very strong love, something to that effect. And she said it's not just necessarily about romance, but it's worldwide, you know, like peace, okay? An end to conflict, all right? So that's the first thing. Then, as I'm getting ready for the reading, they're like, okay, use the Divine Feminine deck and then the Divine Masculine deck. And so I go to grab the deck and some cards just fall, right? And the ones that were at the top for the Divine Feminine deck were, I think this is the Divine, yeah. Guidance, Goddess, and Romance, okay? And then I just wanted to see what was at the top of the deck for my Divine Masculine. And it's Reconciliation and Divine Feminine, okay? The first thing I want to say is that with any reading like this, where there's reconciliation, reunion, or renewal within love, because it feels romantic, we've got the romance card out here, okay? If this is not your reading, you'll know. Okay, if there is no one in your immediate realm at this time that you would ever even consider reconnecting with, because the beings that you have encountered are very, very toxic or not ready for reconciliation or anything like that, then you can leave this reading where it is. Okay? But there is a very strong message coming through that for some of you beautiful beings, this is a message about peace. This is a message about reconciliation, and I'm hearing an alert, a call, an alert, a call to peace. The conflict is over. It's time to rebuild. The foundation is excellent, okay? Also, I was getting my phone ready to record and I accidentally, you know, nothing's an accident really for a reading, but I meant to hit my camera app and I hit the icon for Google, and the top story was, I won't mention the names because it's not about the energy of the people, it's about the energy of the message. But there's something here about a power couple. There's something about a Divine Masculine and a Divine Feminine working together to do really beautiful things for this world. And this world could be your inner worlds. So whatever connection this is that's coming through, it is one that brings healing. Okay, I'm getting that it has brought challenges, but also opportunities for you to heal, both of you to heal on an individual level. All right, and I'm hearing that you have met those challenges, and that's how you will know if this is your reading, because the challenges that have been presented to you or that you have presented to one another, you have both met the challenges. Okay, this is not a situation where you're feeling like you have to drag somebody to heal. No, You're both choosing to heal on an individual level, and the healing that you do with one another helps you on an individual level as well, and vice versa. So this is your inner world. This is also the world that you have created together, the world of your relationship, the world of your home, your community, and the world at large. Your connection with this divine being has a positive impact, a powerful positive impact on the world on many different levels. Also, they were like, okay, you also use the Osho deck. So I just picked up the Osho deck. Ooh, and this is the same one that was behind the ordinariness card, okay? So it's the burden. That feels like the challenges, okay? Because in a true love relationship where we are, you know, love is not meant to be easy. It's meant to be worthwhile. It's meant to be a journey where we are growing individually and we're growing together. But when you think about it, individual growth isn't always easy, right? There are challenges, there are things that we consider to be burdens, but we find that if we look really closely, the things that we think are burdens are opportunities. So if the individual path of growth is not always easy, why do we think as a society that love relationships, that path with a divine lover is always supposed to be easy? And a lot of people, it's so easy to get confused between healthy growth and toxic situations that we need to let go of. Okay, because there are those. There are those. And that's when we have to use discernment in readings like this. Like if it's not your reading, then, or it could be for a future situation. Okay, these readings can be past, present, future. But anyway, I had picked up this ordinariness card. There's something about peace that almost feels like a little too quiet. I'm hearing the birds chirp. The thing about it is that there are certain low vibe entities that don't want you to be at peace, because when you're at peace, you hear spirit. You hear the voice of your higher self. You hear your soul talking to you. And that's when you really get dangerous. You know what I mean? And I mean dangerous to the low vibe entities. They see you as a threat then, because it's like, oh, they're aligned now. They're going to be creating now. You know what I mean? So it's almost as if the quiet, the peace feels like, is it supposed to be this way? Okay. Yes, it is. There's power in that quote unquote ordinary energy. That's really where we're supposed to be, is where it's just, it doesn't mean that everything's perfect, but it means that you have come to a place where you trust the divine, you trust yourself. So you know that even if there's some background noise, it doesn't bother you. It doesn't take you out of your peace. You're still in your garden. Okay, this could be figurative or literal. You're still connecting with nature. You're still hearing the voice of spirit. You got everything you need to know that everything is all right. There is something here about a burden. I want to take a closer look. Okay, it said crows. I want to take a closer look at this burden energy. There could be something here about a burden of not knowing the way forward, because there are two people here. Okay, that's significant too. There are two people, and one person is on the other one's back. Tell us more about this burden, spirit. Okay, these were on the fence. We've got 6 of Swords, Knight of Cups, 10 of Cups, 5 of Pentacles, Queen of Cups. Who is this Queen of Cups, spirit? The 7 of Pentacles. There's something that's taken a while. There's something that's taken a while. And you know what I'm getting is that there was a spirit of poverty that was impacting the ability for this couple to grow. But the poverty was not necessarily coming through as financial poverty. It could have been. I do see the Five of Pentacles, but it's almost as if what I'm seeing here is this masculine is carrying a feminine energy on their back, and it's a burden, but this is not you. There's this person on their back is an outsider. What I'm getting is that there have been feminine energies, or yeah, we'll say that, feminine energies that have been a burden to this relationship, really a burden to this masculine, that have been trying to direct their path. You see how he's totally worn out, and they're telling him where to go, but he's burdened by it, so it doesn't feel like it's the right direction. Now I'm seeing this in another way. This could be that this masculine was at one time seeing your direction, your guidance, your spiritual guidance as a burden, but it's truth. This could have been going on for a long period of time. Now what I'm getting with this Queen of Cups is this could be a mother energy. So for some of you, this could have been a mother-in-law that was getting in the way. This could have been any sort of feminine energy that uses emotions to control. You see how they're trying to direct things? So this is a mother energy that was trying to control the direction of a direct, I almost said direct masculine. So this could be a masculine energy that prefers things to be quick or expects things to be like very concise, and so they might not explore in the spiritual realms a lot. So it was difficult for them to gain mastery of this, to really use discernment or develop the necessary discernment. I just saw 12:21 on the timer, for them to truly see themselves. Okay, this divine pair is a reflection of each other, but there is a feminine energy that was trying to get in the way in order to burden this masculine, to steer them out of the direction of love, to steer them away from the direction of love. And so what's here is, oh, I didn't see the Eight of Wands there. You have Six of Swords, Eight of Wands. So there was always the potential of peace. Always. And whatever the feminine energy was communicating, and I'm saying feminine in within the partnership, not this feminine that was trying to distract the masculine. Whatever the divine feminine was communicating was steering this relationship in the direction of the Ten of Cups. Okay? That's something that, it's like there's this pull between you with the Knight of Cups. This pull where the Knight of Cups was on the fence, but it's that your souls are drawing you together, but external forces have wanted you apart. Okay? With the Knight of Cups, there's this pull that you can't explain that has always drawn you together. And then we had the Five of Pentacles, which I was clarifying. That's the sense of isolation, misunderstanding between this couple. What else, Spirit? We got Two of Swords and the Magician. There's confusion and chaos that was being directed towards this relationship intentionally. Someone was using energy to influence the thoughts of these divine beings that are drawn to one another on a soul level. Okay? See what's coming through here. What's the guidance or clarification here, Spirit? A new beginning. Look at that. And we just had 15:15 on the timer. So it's like the past cycle or cycles that are now over represent the devil energy. There's a feminine that wanted to control this connection. And I'm getting that the reason why this burden card came out is because this was energetic. It could have been in the physical realm as well, where this feminine was really trying to get into this masculine's space to control them. But I'm really getting energy. Also, there's a rooster here, so somebody could be born in the year of the rooster. I think they call it the year of the cock, but I don't know, whatever. Also, this feminine energy masks herself or themselves, because it could be a male, but they present themselves in feminine energy, okay? Because this person looks like they're wearing a costume from like maybe the time of the Renaissance or something. I don't know. Look at that. If you hear my belly growling, I'm fasting, so we just gonna roll with it, okay? But doesn't that look like the Renaissance period or something? I don't really know back that far. My knowledge of fashion goes back to like the 20s. Beyond that, I don't know what was popular and when, but there could be somebody of European descent. Doesn't have to be. But they definitely wear a mask. And there's no part of themselves that they show as true. This person might make modifications to their body. They might conceal aspects of themselves emotionally. It's like they really are not comfortable at all with their true self. And that's a part of what was wearing this masculine energy out so much, is because they could feel the falseness, the fakeness. Okay? So a new beginning, pressing life's reset button and setting new intentions, gaining fresh perspectives and seeing the world anew, embracing new beginnings and letting go of the past. Okay? This is an intentional experience. Things are being done with intention. There are so many temptations to break my discipline, but I'm trying my best to avoid falling into old habits and focus on building a better future. So there's somebody here who is fighting temptation. This could be regarding substances. Also, doesn't that look like a dumbbell? Yeah. So somebody could be making wiser life choices to take better care of themselves. That could be something that was happening under the influence of this distorted feminine, where they were not making good choices for their health, okay? That was intentional. This feminine energy wanted to bring this masculine down. They wanted to wear them down. What was their intention of doing that? What was this distorted feminine's ultimate intention towards this masculine? I need to take control of my life, and this journey is the first step. I'm not ready to commit to anything else until I find myself. And this is the loneliness card. So this person feels very lonely. They suffer from loneliness. So they wanted this masculine's attention. They wanted their energy. They wanted their affection. And we also have the Destiny card. They made me believe our connection wasn't real and that it was just a waste of time. I know now that that was untrue. Destiny had a different plan for us. So this person wanted your destiny. Look at this Destiny card. A part of the reason why they wanted this masculine is because they see the beautiful energy between you, and they wanted to siphon that. They know that what you have is divine. And so they've been working. The Seven of Pentacles is about the long period of time and the sustained amount of energy that this person was putting into trying to distract both of you from one another. Perhaps distracting you with disagreements, arguments, misunderstandings, things like that. I was naive to think that fleeting affairs could ever take the place of a genuine connection. I should have trusted my heart more than my craving for new experiences. Please forgive me for doubting the bond we share. So there could be someone who is trying to present themselves as a temptation. All right. What's the energy of this divine masculine spirit? What do we need to know about this masculine energy? Okay, so shuffle first. What needs to be known about this masculine energy? Confidence, self-deception, telepathy, and loyal. Okay, so that's what I was getting, because I don't, for whoever this reading is, like whoever it's for, I don't feel like, you see how this, it's almost like they're being tempted, but they're not biting the apple. That's the vibe I get. 2111 on the timer. Yeah, they were tempted. They may have considered something, but ultimately this is a loyal being. Now, if in your experience this person was running through a whole lot of people and doing the most, this might not be your reading. I don't feel that it is. Hold on one second. I need to close the door. Okay. I got a smoothie. Somebody brought me a smoothie. Ashe. I needed it because my belly was doing the most. Okay. All right. So, yeah. This masculine was tempted because that was the intention of this distorted feminine, was to send all sorts of temptations their way. Okay. Because they were doing anything that they could do to try to get this, to try to get this to be their experience. Or at the very least, if they weren't able to siphon this energy for themselves, they at least did not want you to experience it with them. Because what I'm getting is that there was also a very personal vibe here where this distorted feminine had evil intentions towards not only this masculine, but the feminine within the connection as well. Okay, let me put this down. Thank you, Spirit. Oh, and you know what? Pink. Pink is very significant as far as color work, energy work, because pink, you know, you think red is like, oh, passion and deep love, and that's beautiful, but pink represents love that also sustains a friendship. And so there is a beautiful bond between this masculine and feminine. It's not just about passion and desire and all of that, because power couple did come through, so that energy is there. But this is also about 2323 on the timer. This is also about a loving friendship that results in a romantic bond that is true. Okay, so this masculine is manifesting more confidence in his world, and that was this distorted feminine's desire all along, was to chip away at this masculine's confidence. Okay, they realize the difference between fake and fact, or truth from fiction. Because there's something that they realize, that because it's self-deception, they realize that they were seeing things through the lens of an illusion. So it's very, very possible that this distorted feminine was casting illusions so that this masculine would be self-deceived and would see them as, I'm hearing, on a pedestal for something. Okay? But what was happening was this distorted feminine was trying to embody your energy. Isn't that crazy? So they saw you, and they know that you are the real deal. They tried to embody you. Now, if this person does energy work, which I'm getting the vibe that they definitely do. So they were using entities and all sorts of craft work to try to replicate your energy. But see, as this masculine is leveling up and evolving, they see the difference between what's fake and what's a fact, and they know that you are the truth. Okay, there is a telepathic connection between you and this masculine or feminine, whichever one you are, but you are a divine being, and this partner of yours is also divine. Okay, whoever's embodying more the masculine or feminine energy. Okay, but there is a telepathic bond between you, and I'm hearing that it is blessed by the ancestors. Also, I'm seeing my green polish. I've been holding my cards up the whole time, but I'm seeing the green in this polish here, and what that's coming through, what that's bringing through is the abundance of your telepathic connection. So that's why that power couple energy was coming through. You are both creative together. You are, I'm hearing that the way you perceive each other is divine, because you know how like you go out into the world, or you contact strangers or come in contact with strangers, and people sometimes perceive a person in the most negative way possible because that's how they're vibing. Well, you and this divine being are very different in that way, is that you perceive each other in a divine way because you see each other in truth. And that's what this distorted feminine was trying to bring an end to, was how you beautifully perceive one another. They wanted you to see this lover as the worst thing ever, as an enemy, as someone who had it out for you. And they wanted your lover to see you in that way as well. There's loyalty here. Also growing old together. There's something here about you could have had visions of you all's life together, like a long life together, and while this distorted feminine was really trying to impact you all's connection, perhaps you weren't seeing that. Well, the visions are being restored. If this is your reading, okay, the visions are being restored. You will notice that there are plans that you are making, and that is infusing you all's connection with positive energy of abundance, of togetherness, this pink energy of friendship. Okay, yeah, and I'll have to listen to that song by the Supreme, Stone Love, because I really haven't listened to it. Spirit just said ask what song is playing, or you know, listen to the song or see what's playing, and so that's the song that was playing. Okay, I feel like it's beautiful to end with an Oshun card, since this is a love reading that I wasn't planning for, but hey, I read the energy that comes through. They said look at the bottom, Oshun of resurrection, and 5 is Oshun's number. I was thinking about that today, like Oshun is the Orisha of love and wealth and beauty and sweetness, and her number is 5. Right? A lot of people don't like 5 because they think, oh no, what change is about to happen? But how do we not have love and beauty and wealth without change? Because these are the frequencies that involve change. They require change. And so if we're not willing to experience that change, then we don't experience the growth that elevates us to those frequencies where we can embody those vibes. Okay, so there's something here that is being resurrected. This is rebirth, transformation, and renewal. And what Mama Oshun is saying, she's saying, first of all, connect with my honey, because I'm seeing this honey dripping here. I love it. Also, the connection between you and your lover is so divinely sweet. Okay, it's the nectar that, the connection between you is the nectar that sweetens not only the connection between you, the energy between you, but the energy within yourselves, of your home, and this world. So it's almost like I'm seeing the two of you hold hands, and there's just nectar flowing all around, or honey flowing all around, that's just spreading all over the world. It's like sweetness. So you all might work on a creative endeavor together. Also, what I'm getting is that if you have children, that is the honey. Okay, that's the sweetness that influences this world in such a beautiful divine way. So whatever it is that you and your lover create, it is divine, and it has a very powerful healing energy that flows to this entire world. Also with transformation, this is your reading. Both of you are transforming on a deep level because of this love. It has not kept you stagnant. It has not kept you still. You know, sometimes there is beauty in the stillness, right? But what I'm seeing is this motion that leads to growth. You're moving because you're constantly growing, you're expanding. And that is something that has happened between you both on an individual level and together, okay? So true transformation and true renewal and true love. Ashe, thank you, Spirit, for these messages, for this reading. I'm so grateful that you allow them to come through me. And thank you, beautiful being, for taking the time to tune in. I really appreciate you. I also appreciate your likes, your kind comments, your subscribes, your hypes, your shares, your, what else? Oh, your donations. Thank you so much. Every single bit of love that you bring to this space. I am so grateful for that. And I love you. I wish you peace. I wish you joy and so many blessings. Take care.